Hi, hello viewers and welcome to Insect with Papi Masa. Today we are looking at an insect whose origin is in the sub-Saharan Africa, and most of us know it as a tsetse fly. That's how you pronounce it as well. Oh, I have I have a guest. Guess what?
Guest speaker.
Guest speaker. Yeah. So I just want to know, find out what he thinks about the same, because I was looking at. For now, let me just call it a tsetse fly because that's what most people know it as. And I found out some really fascinating stuff about it. So first of all, general knowledge has it that it's a dangerous insect because it causes diseases, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So which diseases does it cause?
From my background in school, I think it's probably the sleeping sickness.
Sleeping sickness, that is in human beings. What about animals?
In animals, I think it's also the same.
Sleeping sickness in animals.
Human beings are also animals. So.
No, but there is a specific name for that sickness in animals.
It's a fever.
So?
It's a fever. It's a type of a fever in animals, like in cows.
It's called Nagana. Yeah, so it causes sleeping sickness in human beings and Nagana in animals. But then I found out some really amazing facts. If we just ask, how does the insect reproduce? Do you have any idea?
No clue at all.
And by virtue of it being an insect, what can you say?
I think through laying of eggs.
Well, yeah, for all insects, because that is how they reproduce. But what makes this animal unique is the fact that it gives birth.
Gives birth?
Yeah. A tsetse fly gives birth. And it has a gestation period of 10 days. So it doesn't give birth to a baby, of course. It gives birth to what is called a larva. What happens is during the gestation period, by the time it's born, the larva is born, it has already absorbed all the nutrients that it needs from its mother's milk. Of course, you want to ask the next question is, how does it breastfeed then? Yeah. How do you think it gets its milk?
First of all, I'm surprised that the tsetse fly they reproduce by giving birth. So obviously, if they give birth, they just feed through probably mammary glands.
Through what?
Mammary glands.
No, they don't have mammary glands. So they have a connection of tubes or a number of tubes within their systems, and it's through the tubes that the larva gets its milk. It has like two mouthparts. I'll be able to illustrate through a video here. And it's through the mouthparts that it sucks its milk into its body. So meaning that by the time it's born, it has already absorbed all the nutrients it needs into its body. And so after it's born, the larva goes underground for a period of about a month for protection, because I believe it's because it's weak, it's not fully developed. So it goes underground for about a month, and then it breaks out of its shell after that 1 month, and then it will be a fully formed insect, and now it's able to spread its wings. Something else that's fascinating about the tsetse fly is the fact that it has what we call the proboscis. We can say its mouth parts, and it entirely depends on the blood that it sucks from the animals and the human beings. And so when it takes in the blood, it's literally the belly or the stomach or the abdomen, I think that's what it's called in insects, it swells, and we're told that is more than the general insect's weight. Like, you can just imagine, it's like human beings, we intake in food, and then you can literally see the stomach, ballooning. So that is literally what happens in tsetse flies. And then something else is we're told that a female tsetse fly mates only once in its lifetime.
Only once?
Yeah, only once. And when that happens, the male tsetse fly releases a certain substance that scientists do not know what the substance is. And that substance will make sure that the female doesn't mate again, ever in its lifetime.
Must be nice.
It's not nice. That's so selfish of them. It's like, I'm the one for you, so you're not going to get anybody else. That's so selfish of them.
Nice.
But then you're not going to get it anyway as well, because you're having the mating once.
I'll move on to another.
Oh, but the female is I get it.
No attachments, nothing. Just move on.
Okay. Now, already I said that. So those are some of the facts about the tsetse fly. So I believe you've been able to learn one or two things. Yeah. So just like you, at first when I was reading the info, I thought because it's an insect, it lays eggs. But you see, it gives birth. Now let's look at the pronunciation. We're saying that the insect is African, yeah? So we call it a tsetse fly. Have you ever tried to like check the dictionaries how it's supposed to be pronounced according to the English people?
Just pronounce it the way like everyone pronounces it.
Tsetse.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of this African blood-sucking fly which bites humans and other mammals, transmitting sleeping sickness and nagana. How do you go about pronouncing it? There seems to be 3 different ways that are used interchangeably and that are referenced by different reliable sources. So how do you go about pronouncing it those 3 different ways? First one is Tsetse. Tsetse. The Cambridge Dictionary as well as Google reference this pronunciation Tsetse. However, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, for example, references this pronunciation as Tsetse, the middle one on your screen, Tsetse. But many people, including particularly perhaps in the United States, pronounce it as Tsetse, Tsetse, the right one on your screen. So 3 different ways, all seem to be correct: Tsetse, Tsetse, and Tsetse. Which one do you think is the right one? Which one do you use? I was checking the same, okay, like it came about, I was discussing something with a student, and then there was a question that, it was actually a Swahili paper, and of course it was telling us that the Swahili name for the tsetse fly is mbungo, and so unfortunately the student didn't have any info about what the insect is. So I checked online, got the picture of the same, and then I showed it to her. And you know, every day is a learning experience. You know, out of curiosity, we just ask each other, but then how is it supposed to be pronounced? Is it tsetse or tsetse? Of course, it's not tsetse. But then I was looking at the origin of the word, because according to the online YouTube pronunciation, there are 3 ways in which we can pronounce it, and the one that is commonly like prescribed is tsetse. So it's not a tsetse fly, it's a tsetse fly, according to the dictionaries. So tsetse fly, like apparently according to them, that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. But then my point of conflict is, if it's an African insect, and we're saying that its origin is in the sub-Saharan Africa, then, or specifically the Swana, and even the Swana, the pronunciation itself is a bit shaky, because I checked out 2 pronunciation, and there's one that was talking about Swana, like the T, literally pronouncing the T, Swana, and then there is one that was saying Swana. Which one would you go for?
I think because Swana is a Bantu language, so I think there's that emphasis on the T.
So you think we are supposed to say it's Swana?
Swana, yeah.
Swana.
Botswana, like the country.
Botswana?
Yeah, Botswana.
No, but you see, when you're talking about the language, it's South African. It's not Botswana. Like the language is, well, I say Swana. So. I say Swana because since the insect is there, and most of the words that have the TS, they literally like silent the T. So because this insect is from there, then I'd say it's supposed to be tsetse fly. Tsetse fly. And for the English people, I think they call it a tsetse fly because their pronunciation and like just how they are, it doesn't really like enable them to, you know, pronounce it at tsetse. But because it's African, I believe we have the right to pronounce it however we want. What do you think?
I think that's the way you explain it. I think it's the most logical way to pronounce it.
Yeah. Because, well, we can call it a tsetse fly, but that's just something that appeals to them. But because it's African, I think the pronunciation ought to be tsetse, just the way we've been doing it, because we call it the Swana language. Yeah. Anyway, guys, unfortunately, my guest speaker didn't want to be seen, but you've had him.
He's so shy. So shy.
Shy. And he was so cold.
The guest hasn't drunk any tea in the house.
Are you trying to say I
The
didn't
host-
offer you tea?
The host didn't offer me anything.
Anyway, guys, that's what is for our discussion. So you tell me, what do you think about this insect? Have you been able to get something that you didn't know, perhaps? And what do you think about the pronunciation? Should we go with the tsetse fly or the other two pronunciations that are provided in the dictionary? Or let's do it our African way, tsetse fly. Until next time, it's bye for now.